As humans, we tend to be the know-it-all species. The lands we walk, the skies we breathe, and the oceans we cover. We think we know everything. But scattered across Earth are discoveries that break the law of logic, science, and religion. Here are the 6 most mysterious discoveries scientists still can't explain. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to more real-world mysteries and historical videos that will shock you. The Voynich Manuscript. Starting the list with the Voynich Manuscript, which was a book tucked inside the Baffled Rare Book Library at Yale University. Inside this book lies an object that has defeated every single codebreaker, linguist, and even the largest artificial intelligence models that were thrown at it. This 15th century book is roughly 240 pages long and written in a language that exists nowhere else on Earth. But a natural question arises. It might be fake. However, that's not true. The script flows beautifully across parchment with strange looping characters, interesting flourishes, and diagrams of plants that don't grow anywhere where modern science knows. Here's where it gets interesting. When it was rediscovered in 1912 by Polish book dealer Wilfred Voynich, the world thought it was a fake book or a medieval prank that was designed to deceive collectors. But the theory completely crumbled when radiocarbon testing confirmed that the parchment itself dated back to the early 1400s. So whoever made it didn't make it to fool others or to sell it to the masses to destabilize economies, but they did it hundreds of years ago for causes that are still unknown. Several cryptographers from the CIA, NSA, and top universities have tried to decode it, but it has not yielded any results. To make it interesting, AI language models have also attempted to find patterns. However, none succeeded. And here's where it gets creepy. The text completely follows linguistic rules. It has word structures, repetitions, and grammatical consistency, meaning that it is indeed a real language, just one that humans or science still cannot translate. Some people believe that the Voynich Manuscript is the last surviving work of a forgotten civilization, while others think that it could be a gateway to alchemy, herbal medicine, or even a way to contact the extraterrestrial species. But one disturbing truth remains to this day. Whoever made this knew exactly what they were doing. The Voynich Manuscript doesn't just hide meaning. It hides an entire world of possibilities that we don't understand. Speaking of not understanding, next up we have the Antikythera Mechanism. The Antikythera Mechanism. In 1901, sponge divers were exploring the Aegean Sea off the coast of the Greek island called Antikythera. There they stumbled across a Roman-era shipwork. Amongst the bronze statues and amphorae, they found something very interesting. At first, it looked like a corroded lump of metal that was fused with history. But when archaeologists began cleaning it, they made a discovery that rewrote history entirely. Inside the lump were gears that were delicate, interlocking gears, arranged with precision that just couldn't have been possible in those times. While the world thought it was some sculpture, it wasn't. It was actually a machine. Modern scans later revealed over 30 bronze gears inside, and this mechanism contained a system of cogs that were capable of tracking the movements of the sun, moon, and planets, predicting eclipses, and even mapping celestial cycles. Sounds like something only modern-day science could do. But you know what's crazy? Historians dated it around 100 BCE, meaning that the ancient Greeks built a device with such mechanical precision that wouldn't appear again until the 14th century. In essence, this was a 2,000-year-old analog computer we were looking at. The Antikythera Mechanism was so precise that it could simulate the universe using a hand crank, a feat that was thought impossible for that era. Nothing else was found. No one knows who built it. But some attribute it to the followers of Archimedes, others to unknown geniuses lost to time. However, the question still remains. Who actually made such a device 1,000 years before its time? And it forces us to ask, before civilizations were wiped out due to diseases and other unforeseen circumstances, how advanced were the ancients really? The Baltic Sea anomaly. It seems like a lot of these mysteries only happen in Europe, as back in June 2011, a Swedish team known as the Ocean X Divers was scanning the floor of the Baltic Sea when they found something that shouldn't have existed. It was their sonar picking up a perfectly round object, but it wasn't just any round object. This thing was roughly 60 meters wide, resting 90 meters below the surface, with sharp angles, symmetrical ridges, and what looked like a ramp leading up one side. This is something they shouldn't have seen. At first, divers thought it was just a shipwreck, But when they went down, the mystery deepened. As they approached the object, their electronic equipment malfunctioned. Light flickered, compasses spun aimlessly, and even the satellite phones lost signals. Some divers even felt dizzy, and one lost consciousness, which was something eerie. And when they finally saw the object, it wasn't metal. It looked like a rock. But you know that rocks should not be symmetrical and should not have the right angles or layers, but this one did. Geologists suggested that it might be a glacial formation, but that doesn't explain the electromagnetic interference or the precise symmetry. This discovery has fueled every theory there is in the world. Some people say that it could be a crashed UFO or a lost civilization's monument, or even a natural anomaly caused by ancient glaciers. Even after a decade, this mystery still hasn't been solved. It is still silent, cold, and unyielding, lying at the bottom of the oceans. Scientists cannot explain it. Governments have never heard about it, and perhaps that's the main reason why it's so unsettling. Sacsayhuaman. As good as the name might be, the name Sacsayhuaman comes from high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, where just above the ancient Incan capital of Cusco stands this amazing fortress. What's crazy about this fortress is that it defies all logic. It's not in the size or the shape that they shock scientists, but rather the precision with which it is built. The walls are made of enormous stone blocks, some weighing over 300 tons, carved and fitted together so perfectly that not even a sheet of paper can slip between them. There's no mortar, no metal reinforcement, yet it is so precisely built that it shocks everyone in the current era. But what's even more extraordinary is that the Inca civilization didn't use iron tools, wheels, or written mathematics. They somehow shaped these colossal rocks with intricate curves, interesting edges, and perfect angles, all without cranes, lasers, or even machinery. Even more interesting is that the walls have withstood hundreds of earthquakes without a single major crack. Modern engineers still can't replicate this, with houses getting destroyed thanks to floods and storms. Some historians believe that the Incas inherited this site from an unknown early civilization that was not only far older but also very advanced. Others think the design reflects lost ancient techniques. But whatever the truth is, the Sacsayhuaman still stands as a monument to humans, which is something we cannot debunk. This is a wall that shouldn't exist, yet it still does. Before we move to the next interesting, mysterious discovery, subscribe to our channel if you want more videos like these. The Potomsky Crater. Next, we have the Potomsky Crater. In the vast and dangerous forests of eastern Siberia, there's a structure unlike anything else we've seen on Earth. This structure is the Potomsky Crater, also known as the Fire Eagle's Nest. It was first discovered in 1949 when the world saw a 130-foot-tall cone-shaped mound made entirely of limestone and shattered rock. There was also a smooth dome sitting perfectly at the center of it. The landscape around it is scorched as if something once exploded and destroyed everything. But you know what's crazy? There are no volcanoes, impact craters, or even a record of mining or human activity nearby. And if it wasn't creepy enough for you, you'd be damned to know that even to this day, animals avoid it and birds refuse to nest there. When there's a compass nearby, it spins wildly, and the GPS devices start glitching. When the Yakut locals were asked about it, they called it the cursed place. Some legends even claim that it was formed when a burning sphere fell from the sky centuries ago. This story also resembles eyewitness accounts of the Tunguska event of 1908, when a massive explosion flattened forests hundreds of kilometers away. To this date, scientists have hundreds of theories. First, people think a meteor may have exploded underground. Another theory stated something interesting, and that is a gas eruption. Some even go as far as to say that it must be a nuclear-like blast that could be caused by natural uranium deposits. However, none of it fits any data, making it quite creepy. And in 2005, it happened. Researchers went to this place to do their thing and started drilling into the crater, but were forced to stop after their equipment started failing repeatedly, and many team members also fell ill. Whatever happened there, only the Earth remembers it, and the legends are there, talking about what seems impossible to happen. What do you think happened to the Potomsky Crater site? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. The Mount Baigong Pipes. And now, to the most mysterious yet interesting discovery on our list. We have the Mount Baigong Pipes. Deep into the barren deserts of the Qinghai province, China, near the dry shores of Lake Toson, there's Mount Baigong. This mountain has surprised scientists for decades. Inside the rocky cliffs are metal pipes. Actually, hundreds of them. Some are stretching deep into the mountains, while others are running straight into the ancient lakebed that is situated down below. But when Chinese researchers examined them, they found something that totally surprised them. The pipes were made of iron and silicon and were over 150,000 years old. This is long before human civilization happened. Before agriculture, writing, or even modern humans were there as we know it. Many of the pipes at this site are perfectly cylindrical, interconnected with T-joints and bents. In short, they resemble a modern plumbing system. What's even more interesting is that there are signs of welding, which is a process that shouldn't exist for another 148,000 years. Chinese scientists sent samples for lab testing, and the results showed a mix of iron, oxide, calcium, and silicon, with some unknown compounds that still do not match any geological process. The official explanation? Well, the pipes are fossilized tree roots that absorbed metal over time. But does this explain perfect symmetry? Or why were they embedded deep in solid mountain rock? Not really. So what are they? People suggest that it could be an ancient civilization that was erased by time, while others believe that it was a part of a natural formation that was altered by unknown energy sources. To this date, the mystery of the Mount Baigong pipes still remains unknown, so our list ends here. But which mystery surprised you the most? And subscribe to our channel if you're looking for scientific breakthroughs and mysteries.